Welcome to the third episode of the Moms That Read podcast. I'm Katarina.
I'm Kaylee.
And I'm McKenzie. Today we are going to take a stroll through our 5-star reads, but we're actually going to read the 1-star ratings that they have on GoodReads. Before we get into that, we're actually going to go through our recent reads. So what are you guys reading right now?
Go for it.
I'm reading Beg, Borrow, and Steal by Sarah Adams.
Have you enjoyed it?
I loved it so much.
Oh, I've heard really good things.
It's Emily and Jack. So it's, practice makes perfect. It's like my favorite book.
Yes.
But Emily and Jack is Annie's sister. Emily is. And it's like I feel like you would really enjoy it, McKenzie, because they're both teachers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, I let my coworker read Practice Makes Perfect, and so I want that to be like the first one that I read.
Yeah.
But is that a
You
part of
haven't
the
read it yet?
same?
No, I need to bring
She
you
did.
When in Rome first.
I do have it. So which
When
one?
in Rome is the first book.
But you don't have to read them in order.
You don't have to read them in order, but like...
Well, my coworker was like, I didn't realize that this was the second one, and she was like, but I already know what's going to happen to the
Okay,
other
so I need to read
characters.
When in Rome first then.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it's like a series.
Yeah.
But
But they're standalones.
they're
in the
they can be
Right.
standalones. Yeah. But
that
Emily
makes
and
sense.
Jack's story is really cute because they're both teachers, and I feel like
Aw.
every teacher would like love it. Yeah.
I'm here for that.
I have just finished The Coldest Winter by Brittany Cherry, which I read it because of the snow day. I wanted like a cozy winter
Yeah.
book. And it was like an emotional mess, but it was really good. So I ended up like messaging the author on TikTok and like, good job, because I thought it was very well written. And there was, I'm not gonna give away too much, but there was something you find out about one of the main characters in that book, and she just represented it really well. I feel like.
Is that fantasy or is it?
No, it's like a romance, like
Okay.
not like a sweet romance, so like a gut wrenching romance.
So like a Rebecca
Yeah.
Yarros
Pass.
romance.
What?
Like a Rebecca Yarros romance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I am currently reading, well, I just finished Daughter of No Worlds. I was reading it the last time we filmed. Loved it. I'm ready to read
Yeah?
the next one. It's so good.
You're actually gonna read the next one, unlike Kaylee.
I know.
Yes.
Y'all have to tell me if I need to pick it back up or not.
It was so good. Just the writing of it and the story between the two main characters is beautiful. Like, I loved the way that it was written.
As
Yeah.
good as like Throne of Glass, because I heard they're very similar.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of reading Throne
Oh,
of
that's
Glass
true.
right now,
That's
and
true.
I can see the similarities.
I don't think
Okay.
it was as good as Throne of Glass, like
Okay.
personally.
Yeah.
But it was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
like the
really
way
excited.
Carissa Broadbent writes.
I haven't read any of her books.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful story. I mean, it's a girl who was a slave, and she's kind of finding herself.
I feel like I loved the first like 80% of the book, but the last 20%, like I wanted more. You know what I mean?
I can see that. And I was really confused by the epilogue in the book, which is, I guess, why I need to read the next part, because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand what this pertains to. I'm assuming it's going to get back to it.
Yeah.
There's 3 books in that series.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that
I've already
it's
Googled
complete.
the end because I didn't want to read the other two series. The other
Party
two
Would you
foul.
still reread it?
Yeah, I mean,
Knowing
I'd
that,
still
though?
read. Yeah, I like knowing the ending before I read the book. So yeah.
Are you gonna do that with Onyx Storm?
No, I'm not gonna do that with Onyx Storm.
Like that would ruin the whole book.
No, I'm not doing that with Onyx Storm.
good.
Gosh.
Good.
Okay, yeah. So I'm psycho. Once again, I listen and I read at the same time. So my audiobook is Throne of Glass, and I'm physically reading on my Kindle Wild Love. And I love it so much so far. It's so good. I'm excited.
I don't know about the cowboy romance, but you know.
Is he a cow? He's not
He's
a
not a
cowboy. He's a
cowboy.
billionaire.
Yeah, the
Why
Wild
is
Love.
it called?
The Wild Love one is the.
They're on like a farm,
Yeah,
but it's
Oh.
not like Yeehaw.
yeah. The Chestnut Spring series is very yeehaw, like very yeehaw. But except for Jasper's, which you would like, it's hockey and again ballet. Jasper's is
Okay.
but
Okay.
the other 4 books are Giddy Up Cowboy.
Giddy.
So, but the Wild Love one,
hilarious.
it's a billionaire romance, and then the Wild Eyes is a cattle rancher.
So
So cowboy.
because they're a part of the same series, is it characters from, or are they completely different?
I think they're. I'm trying to remember if the first. No, I think they're different. I think they're
Oh,
different.
so it's not a continuation.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't. The main 2 characters in Wild Love, I don't remember them being
Okay.
in
Side characters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So moving into our 1-star reviews
Yeah.
for our 5-star books. So these are books that we absolutely loved, and clearly other people did not because
But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So
yeah, these are just opinions. We clearly don't agree with them, or we would not have rated them 5
I
stars.
might agree with
Right.
some of them though.
Some of them, I'm like, that's a fair statement.
We're only doing this because it's funny. You like what you like, and I'm happy if you like these books because we like them too.
Yes.
But some people don't like them, and that's okay too.
It's
You should
very
comment below
obvious.
on this podcast if you agree with some of these,
Yeah.
because that would be really funny.
I mean, do I agree with some of them? Yes. Do I still love the book? Absolutely. So
Yeah.
The thing that just kills me is that people have the time, and I mean, if you're this type of reader, go for it. But like when I read a book, I'm like, oh, I'll go and rate it, and then I move
I
on.
never
But
rate
the
it.
people that
Well,
leave essays underneath on the reviews and they pick apart everything, I'm like, wow,
Who has time for
how?
some of these though are hilarious.
Some of them I cackled, and I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
excited to hear
that?
y'all.
I had to filter through some of like the
Yeah.
not clean ones,
Yeah,
but those were hilarious.
those were
quite
hilarious
frankly.
too. Yeah. But this is a kid-friendly podcast, Mom, so you can listen while your kids
Yeah.
are listening.
We
so.
have
So we
filtered.
picked ones that were clean.
Yeah. All right. I'll
Let's
go
hear it.
first.
Okay,
Yes.
go for it.
Okay,
I'll
what
go
book are you
first.
starting with?
Practice makes perfect because we
Oh
were just
no,
talking about
okay.
it. Yeah. This one says, "This book made me realize how learning to read was the biggest mistake of my life."
God.
Oh,
And I was like,
sad.
oh my gosh. And then someone else, I screenshotted too. It says, "I hated everyone in this story and I wish them all the worst." Like, what did they do in this book to make you
Isn't that
wish
like
them
a
all the worst?
Oh my
sweet,
gosh.
pretty book.
It's a sweet little rom-com. And I'm like, what did
Like, what did you hate that?
they
bad?
do
Oh
to
my
make you hate
gosh.
them so
I could
much?
get that for some books, but like that book.
It was so cute. It was like a feel-good, like, small town,
Right.
homey, like, book. Like, why do you hate these people and why do you wish you never learned to read? Like,
Oh my gosh, it makes me wonder what they thought about the other books in the series.
well, I mean, yeah, because there was one before that. So I guess it wasn't as bad because they read the second one.
Do you
and
think that
didn't
people
regret.
rating these ratings are like the non-genre readers who read them, like who aren't
Probably.
maybe.
not comfortable, but like just
They're like,
immersed
this is a
in
stupid
it,
rom-com.
right?
See, I read rom-coms knowing that it's going to be a Hallmark.
Right.
Knowing
Yeah.
that it's going to be
Yes.
a, like, cutesy ending. And I love that.
Well, and I
want
feel
that.
like I read them as my like palate cleansers
Same.
after I've read a really long, big series or something.
Yes.
And I'm like, I just need something I can read in like 24 hours. That's like fun, cutesy. I feel like I go into it knowing
something that's not stressful
that. Yeah.
Correct.
and just like feel good. Like that's,
And I don't have to
that's
think.
why everybody watches Hallmark because they know the
Oh,
ending.
absolutely.
So all my
It's
anxiety
gonna have
people,
a happily ever after.
yeah,
And I love that.
and that's
I'm here
fine.
for that.
All right, you go.
Okay, so my absolute favorite book of all time, other than Fourth Wing, is Four Winds, which I have to get y'all to read a Chris and Hannah book because I'm obsessed. But apparently so the book is basically like Dust Bowl, a woman learning how to like live in that era. Apparently people got a communist type of feel from that book, which I did not get, but every 1-star review was like, she's pushing communism. She's pushing communism. And I was like, I did not get that vibe. So this one says, so let me get this straight. A book that supports and pushes communism as the answer to struggles in America. What the heck is the world coming to when authors write things like this? Was it a good story? Yes. Well written? Yes. But the hidden agenda and blatant glorification of communism is a huge problem for me. I won't be reading any more from this author. If you don't like this country and our form of government, it's time for you to move. Go live in a communist country and come back and tell me how great it is. Go for it.
Oh my
my
god!
Someone
gosh.
said, maybe you need to read this book again. I think you missed the point.
What?
I didn't get any of that.
They were big mad.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Then another one. I was so frustrated to reach the 70% mark in this book and then find out it was going to be a lesson on communism and socialism. Seriously, if you want to push your agenda, then put it on the front cover. Or better here, move to Venezuela. We'll never read another Chris and Hannah book.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh.
People are hating on
Spoiler
her.
promotes communism. Like what?
I did not get that vibe at all. If the main character's whining about not being pretty didn't do me in, the bleakness, emotional manipulation, and weak characterization made me read this book. Made this read as miserable as every character in the book. Disappointment.
Oh my
Is
gosh!
this the same person?
No, it's 3 different
Oh,
people.
I was like, wow, this person is real upset about this
I
book.
did not get that vibe from that book. It was a gut-wrenching, hard to read book, but it was like beautiful. And apparently a lot of people were like, she pushed communism. Yeah.
See, that's why I can't read
What?
Kristen Hannah,
You
because
would love
it's
her.
gut wrenching and I don't want to cry. I like rom-coms.
Listen,
Some of her books are fine. This one was.
the one that I read of her, zero political agenda,
Yeah. Oh well,
zero plot.
Plot. Yeah. Okay, I look back. I 4-starred that book.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why. Now, like, I have noticed that, like, after reading something initially, I'll star it differently than like after thinking about it for a
Yeah.
while.
See, I felt like
do
that
that.
with Variation. Like
Okay.
like immediately after I read it,
Like
I was like,
6-star.
oh, 6-star. And then afterwards, like when we started
I'm like
talking
4,
about it, I was
4.5.
like, I feel like I'll give it a 5 just because I really liked it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I can see some problems with it too.
Yeah. That's why I was like immediately after a 5, and then I was like, I think it's a 4.5.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say 4.5.
So the first one I did was for Silver Flames, Court of Silver Flames. I feel like I am the minority of people who love this book because
Haven't
I
read
liked it. I just thought it was very spicy.
it's very spicy.
But I don't think I'm gonna read it.
I forgot how spicy it was until someone literally took an excerpt and put it in the comments
Yeah.
as a spoiler in the review. And I was like, oh my god, I don't remember reading that.
Probably 'cause I skipped through it.
This one says 1 star, 1 star for the house. Well, I would have given the star like 2 stars for the house. I loved the house in Akatar.
Right.
But then she went on to talk about how like she didn't put triggers in there that this person was triggered by. And I don't
That's
think
a
I've
personal
ever
problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think I've ever read a book that published triggers on it.
Dark romance does.
Yeah.
Well, I
Like
wouldn't
Butcher and
consider
Or it'll be like,
this.
yeah. There's.
Oh, do they?
God, they have 2 pages worth of
Yes,
triggers.
they
That's
do.
why. Okay, I took that book to the beach with me. I flipped to the triggers and I closed the book and put it back in the cart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
Yeah.
see. I've never read anything
It's
like
like
that.
more dark romance. Or
Okay,
they'll,
but
like,
I
say
did
it on
not
their website.
get that
The author's website.
vibe.
I didn't get a vibe like that though. I mean,
No.
was she depressed? Yes, but I don't
Yes.
think that's a trigger.
No. Well, then someone else said, I hate Nesta, which most people do. But the comment underneath was what got me. It said, it's not even Nesta's character alone. I didn't think there would be a book worse than Breaking Dawn. This book proved me wrong. I don't know why we have to drag Twilight into all these problems, but it's not fair.
Y'all are not convincing me to
No.
watch it or read it.
Listen, I think one of my reviews has something to do with Twilight,
No,
but I'm
I
not
love
sure.
that.
Oh, that's so funny.
Someone else said, no, but someone please tell me what the plot even was because I can't tell you after sitting through and reading this 900-page book, which it was super long, but
It
I
was.
loved it.
Which is why I don't know if I
But
can do
it was like a book full of like character growth, though.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
I thought so too.
I don't know. I didn't get that it needed triggers though.
No.
Okay, my next one is my favorite, Kingdom of Ash. My
Oh.
favorite.
No spoilers because I really want to read it.
Oh, I don't think it's any spoilers.
Okay. That's
I think
on
I
my list
just-
of
Yeah.
next
Okay.
TBR.
Please tell me Aelin and Rowan die.
What?
That's one of the. That's the review.
Fun fact, I don't know who those people are yet.
I know you don't know
My-
who they are yet.
My question though is like, why would you read through like all the books,
All of them
just
and
to be
then-
like, I hate them? The
'Cause
You
Isn't
know who
it Kingdom
Aelin
of
and
Ash, the
Rowan
last
in
one?
by Crown of Midnight, right?
No.
The Air of Fire. Yeah,
Yes.
Air of Fire.
Yeah.
And so
More
why would
so
you
Queen of Shadows.
why would you read
All the rest
all
of
the
the
rest
series.
of the books?
Because Kingdom of Ash is the last one, right?
Yeah,
like 1,000
Kingdom of Ash
pages.
is it's
Like, why, if
literally
you hate the
almost
characters
1,000
so much,
pages.
Why the heck would you read that?
Right.
I don't know. Please tell me Aelin and Rowan died. Well, no. And then this one says, I did it. I survived this hellscape. I don't know how. I might have shaved about 15 years off my life, getting through 980 pages in about a week and a half, but I did it. But my God, at what a cost.
And what a god.
Like, why?
What was your cost?
I hate DNFing a book, but if you hate it that much and it's 1,000 pages, like,
Yeah, no.
just be
DNF
done.
it.
Just DNF it.
Right. I don't think that book was so good. Like, I don't know. The end of Harry Potter got me. The last
Ugh.
2 books in there, and I thought it was like equivalent to that
Right.
because like there's so much growth. It's like all plot. There's nothing boring in Kingdom of Ash, and then the end of it, you're like, oh my God, that was so beautiful. And I'm like,
And then I hate
and then I'm bawling tears, and then they're gonna
This
say,
person's
I
like,
hope they
I've given up my
die.
whole life, and I hope they die.
No, ma'am. No, thank you.
That's funny. So my next one is actually also Kristen Hannah because I love her. Firefly Lane, which
I have that book.
it's so
I do have
good.
that one.
It's also a really good show. This book insults my intelligence.
I've actually seen the show. I've watched
okay,
the
it's really-
the
it's
Netflix
pretty
show.
similar.
I've
How
not
insult
read.
your intelligence?
I don't know.
I don't know.
DNF only made it about halfway. This book is like reading a Lifetime movie script. It's ridiculously horrible, trite, and predictable. Don't waste your time. Someone commented, I agree completely.
I don't think it was Lifetime movie-ish.
No, I don't either. Looked like the perfect brainless beach read, but even too brainless for me. After the
What?
first 40 pages, I literally left the book sitting on a beach chair for whatever poor sucker might be desperate enough to read it. Poorly written, with nothing but cultural references to link the story together. An example of this is the cork platform shoes, Formica kitchen tables, etc. for the 70s. The need to use so many references just tells me the writer has no original thoughts. Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So bad. Oh, I'm not even gonna read that next one. It's like a book. I thought it was beautiful. It's about two best friends as they like grow up in the 80s.
Yeah, and then I know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you've watched the Netflix show, you know
Yeah.
the ending, and it's like,
I know. There's a
What?
second book too.
Is there?
So I don't think she used the second book in the
okay,
show. But
no,
the second book was not good. I didn't like it. But the first book, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I picked it up.
yeah,
It was like on Libby one day, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I had not read another one of her books, and I was like, man, I'll just read it and see what it is. And I fell in love.
well, the
with it.
the Netflix show was beautiful.
The
so
book is too.
yeah,
So these people are just crazy. She left it on her beach chair because she wanted some poor sucker to pick it
It's a
up.
waste of money. At least take
hey,
it to
I'm
like
not even
a
gonna
Goodwill.
say anything about that. I left Butcher and Blackbird at the condo I stayed at. I put it on their
Like,
bookshelf.
nope. Someone's gonna be like, "What is this
What?
thing?"
Why has
Of all
the
You read the
owner-
trigger warnings, baby, because I could not do it.
I read
Oh,
half
man.
that book and was like, I can't.
That stuff does not interest me. So the next book I did was The Things We Leave Unfinished by
Which is
Rebecca
a
Yarros.
Great.
Love
book.
this book. This is one of the only books that actually made me cry. Just the end of it, just it got me. But someone commented and said it should have stayed unfinished.
Okay, that's good.
That's so funny. But then someone else's underneath it was 1 star, and then it said incredible. This was such a tender and heartbreaking love story, and like went on just to praise it. And I said,
So why 1 star?
why did you 1 star it? Like that's not. I don't understand.
Maybe they thought 1 star was good.
Maybe
Maybe.
Maybe.
1 out of 1.
Yeah.
What?
You're number one.
Oh, that's interesting.
So I'm going to give you 1
I think
star.
people 1 star last letter for that reason, because they loved it, but it was so like. Ugh.
Right.
Listen, the last letter can go kick rocks.
I put it on my list, so should I go ahead and do that one?
Yeah, while we're talking about it.
Okay, so the last letter, I'm not going to spoil it, but oh my gosh, if you have not read that, she does something very unnecessary at the end.
Completely unnecessary.
I 5-starred it because it was a really well written story. Like it was beautiful, but it's not one that I would recommend to people unless I'm like,
You want to
You want
Yeah.
to be hurt for months on end?
Casey asked me about it the other day.
No.
She was like,
She
"Should I
does-
read that?" I
she
said,
is freshly
"Absolutely
postpartum."
not."
Please don't.
and- yeah, no, there's too many triggers in that book. I was like, don't read that. Just move on.
Right. Oh, yeah,
So-
no, she does not need to read that.
No.
Casey, if you're listening, do not pick up that book.
Oh, I already told her. 95% of this book is a 5-star read. Agreed. But I can't get past the 5% that ruined it for me. I love this book, but I'm so angry with this book. So because of that 5%, she didn't write this right, that I wish I could unread that made me mad. It's only getting 1 star. I don't know what she meant, but getting 1 star. Now I need to forget this book. I completely
I
agree
don't
with
think
that,
you can
actually.
forget that book.
No, I don't either.
It's like one of those books that sticks with you and like guts you every time you
like
think
not
about
in
it.
a good way.
Not in a good
Not
way.
in a good way, no. I think
She's a beautiful writer, but that was just
Right.
completely unnecessary, to be
unnecessary.
honest.
And I feel like she went into it being like, I'm going to just destroy these people when they read this. The more Rebecca Yarros I
that makes me
read, the less
nervous.
Rebecca Yarros I want to read. I saw an interview of her once saying she doesn't believe in happy endings. But come on, one person can only face so much death. This was so ridiculous. I didn't even cry. And everything makes me cry. 0 out of 5 if I could.
All I'm saying is she better start believing in happy endings because I'm going to need
Zayden and
Zayden and Violet to have a happy ending.
I don't disagree with that.
I'm not mentally prepared. It's
No,
making me
I'm not
sick to my
either.
stomach.
If you read this book, then you know that the last 10% are garbage.
The last 10%
I
are
don't
garbage.
disagree at all. So I'm gonna read it.
All right.
I don't want to cry like that, so probably not.
No, don't do it. Don't recommend it. Okay.
Yeah.
One Dark Window.
Oh no.
I did One Dark Window.
I was thinking we should do an episode on that duology. Just
think we
straight up
should.
on that duology.
Yeah,
I think we
there's
could.
so much to talk about. I think
You
we
know
could.
how the Nightmare does like little poems at the beginning of every
Ugh.
chapter? They're reviewing a poem.
No.
You ready? Beware disappointment and shoddy refrain. Poetic but lacking, though attempts were hard made. I wanted to like it. I read it. I tried, but ultimately failed to make this one vibe. I was like, honestly,
really
know
good.
what?
honestly, you killed that.
5-star review for the poem.
The
Yeah.
person
Good.
clearly read it enough to be able to write like
Right.
The Nightmare.
I think they read the whole book,
must have,
but
'cause
like they
that's-
just must not have liked it. Which I don't see how you don't like that book. That book is just one of the ones where like it's good.
I've yet to read anything like it.
I have
Right.
either.
But honestly, I give 5-star for the poem.
I
I
was
liked
just
it.
thinking, like, if Leo wanted to read another book similar to Fourth Wing, I might suggest that to her because I
Yeah.
would be like,
I think
it's
she
so
would.
Good.
I think she'd like it.
So good.
Another one said, "This kingdom is named Blunder, but it should have been the name of the book."
Oh, okay. Tell us how you really feel.
Right.
That's funny. I loved that book.
I loved that book.
I was gonna do Two Twisted Crowns, but I figured y'all were gonna do that one. Neither of y'all did it.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
I left it for y'all.
I left it for y'all because I was like,
So now we have
Mackenzie's
to go.
100% gonna do it.
Now we need
Find
to
and
go back and
find.
look at them.
All right, you want to go?
Okay, so one of the other ones I did was Divine Rivals, and
I didn't
people
like
hate this book so much.
Katarina.
Katarina,
I would reread this. I would read the second one just to say I finished the series. But I'm not like.
it was a really beautiful story,
It was.
and I just
I don't
like the
disagree.
way that it was written. I would not call it fantasy.
No.
I wouldn't put it in that category. I don't know what I would put it in other than like it was like no spice. So if people want it for spice,
Right.
no. If people want it for fantasy, no.
Is Ruthless Vows more fantasy? Because I feel like she was getting
Yes.
into that towards the end.
Yes. So
Okay.
like the journey that she takes in the second one is
Yeah.
definitely more fantasy, but I still wouldn't call it.
Fantasy.
It does involve more magic
Wyverns
and
and
stuff like that.
yeah.
So that one is more fantasy,
Yeah.
but
But it's
I loved the book, and people were just killing it. This one says, "She writes letters like I did when I was heartbroken at 13 over my Minecraft boyfriend." World building, don't know her.
The only part I liked about that book was the letters. To
I
be
know.
honest,
The-
I liked the magical typewriter.
The writing was pretty, but I'm also pretty. At least I have something to offer.
Oh my god!
I mean, when I tell you these people left nothing. Like if two teens met on Christian Mingle and then whined constantly.
That one wins.
And I'm just like,
no, I like that. I'm pretty too.
Christian Mingle and wines.
Yes.
I love that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's
I feel for Rebecca Ross. I'm just like, I mean, but honestly, these are things.
didn't think
that you
it
can
was
laugh
that
at.
bad.
No.
But I didn't think it was that good either.
yeah,
It was kind of like Light Lark for me. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
I don't disagree with
Like
that.
I liked
It was
it,
fine.
but I didn't love it. Both of them, and I didn't want to read any other books after it.
Yeah.
See, I'm not going to continue the Light Lark series, and I'm not going to read Ruthless Vows.
I've
I
not
have
been
it,
interested
though.
in finishing. Like I did, I finished Nightbane, and I'm
I heard
really
Sky Shade's
interested. But I've
horrible.
heard Sky Shade's horrible, and that has
Yeah.
deterred me from finishing it.
And I think she's supposed to try and write 2 more books
Yep.
with it too. And
See,
I, just
I thought
don't
it
see
was going to
how-
be done after 3.
I think it could have been a duology, to be honest. I
could've.
don't think
Yeah.
it could.
unless she's just wanting to drag it out.
Yeah,
Because
but then it makes me not want to read it even more. So,
true.
Yeah.
am I going to read her romance? Yes, but no.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, I did Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, which
No
Mackenzie
spoilers.
is currently reading. Wild day to have eyes because mine sure suffered reading this. I was like, wow,
Wild
that was
day to
actually
have
good.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's funny.
0 stars. I actively lost brain cells reading this book.
No.
No, you didn't. I mean,
No.
I feel like people go into romance if they're not a romance reader, being like, "This is stupid."
yeah,
But,
it's not
again,
like a life-changing book,
none
but
of
is
them are
it
gonna
a
be.
good book that like
right.
gives you what you want out of a romance? Yes, it is. I don't
Yeah.
think it was. I didn't lose brain cells.
you don't really
No.
need them to read them in the first place,
Right.
Like,
No, you
you
didn't.
kind of brainlessly read them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, and that's what I love about
Especially
them. Like,
those.
Same.
because the ones that require the like just
Thinking.
thinking and the imagining, That's exhausting.
Well, I
Like-
feel like that's why Fourth Wing took me
Yeah.
so long. Like, it didn't take me so long, but Iron Flame took me a while the first time. But
it
it's
was a
because I was
lot
like,
more world building. Yeah.
how there's so much to grasp. Whereas, like a rom-com, I can read it and I can be like, I know I'm going to finish this in 2
It's just
days
a feel
max.
good.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a feel good.
I enjoy reading.
Yeah,
Right.
don't read it if you don't like that kind of stuff.
I think that's what also gets me. Like, authors cannot pay attention to like, if I was an author, I would
Yeah.
only read my 4 and 5-star reviews because those people probably gave like honest feedback if
Yeah.
they did give it a 4 instead of a 5. But people who are doing like 1 and 2 stars,
Some
like,
of them are trolls.
yes, and people just like being mean. But also, like, I don't see you trying to write a book.
Right. I couldn't
Please
write a book.
come up with that idea.
If I did, it'd be a rom-com, and it wouldn't be any good.
Right.
Every single book.
It
in
would
the
probably
world
be
is gonna have
75
1
pages.
stars. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no.
Max.
I am absolutely
With colored
not
pictures.
trying.
I mean,
With
like,
colored pictures.
I was like, there's no way I could do that. So I applaud these people. And I hate
Yeah.
that there are trolls out there. And I'm just like, don't read the
I
one.
mean, and even if I don't like a book, I most of the time will
almost
just
never
rate
give
it
a
and
1.
move on.
Or
Like
I
I
never
don't.
give a 1 unless it's
Right.
absolutely try. I think I've given
Frost
like
and Starlight.
1.
But I think SJM deserves that because she refuses to say anything about book 7.
Right.
Side note, sorry, SJM. I will be a troll.
Fair.
All right, Katarina.
All right, The
Which one you
Prison
got
Healer. I think you said you might.
Oh, I
consider
want
it.
to
Yeah,
read this.
it's
so
really
no
good.
Spoilers.
No spoilers
really good. I
because
won't.
it's on. I have it.
I have not finished the series, but that's me.
Naturally.
So-
I'm getting you a shirt that says doesn't finish book series.
Okay, so my goal this year is to finish a couple that I started, which is why I want to finish Ruthless Vows, just to say I
It's
finished
a
the
quick
series.
read. You would finish it so fast.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's 2 books. So that's why I had never had any intention to finish it, but I'm like, I can say I
have to
finished the
finish
series
it.
if I read it. I finished Shepherd King.
Yeah.
It's 2 books. Don't Let Her Die, We Are Coming. Please let me die. Okay, hold on. Don't Let Her Die, We Are Coming is from the book. It's a quote from the book.
Okay.
And she said, please let me die. I had such a hard time reading this book because it's so unreal. Oh
I
gosh,
heard it
this
was
is a long
good,
one.
though.
I loved it. Oh boy, there's a lot to say about this book. The main character is the most annoying character I've ever come across. Throughout the whole book, she is constantly crying, panicking, completely being helpless. In fact, she does little on her own. For every major conflict that requires her skills, the male love interest has to save her. She does nothing. I also hate the male love interest with a burning passion. His 2 character traits are his abs, and he doesn't assault women, which is debatable.
Wait, he doesn't? And that's a problem?
Apparently, I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then she continues. Yeah. I hate you so much, Kiva. That's the main character. Don't waste your time on this book.
Some of the things that I see people, I'm in a fantasy book recommendation group on Facebook, the one that I say y'all
Yeah.
a screenshot of. Some of those things that people want out of main characters, I'm like,
like,
y'all,
why?
that
That's
is
psycho.
no, that's psycho, and like
Psycho.
I'd like a plot and not just
I also
Yeah.
question
There's
the morality
another
of some of these people that read these books.
absolutely. I'm like, there's another genre for you, and that's not actual literature. So, like, please stop
Don't put
putting
this
this
in my
trash
fantasy book.
out here.
I literally hated this. It got so much hype on TikTok, and I was so excited to read it. The world building was so boring. I didn't particularly like the FMC or MMC, and the twists were unpredictable.
That's the
twist
point of the
supposed-
book. That's if the choice is unpredictable, then the book should probably be 4 or 5 star. Like, right?
That's what I'm saying. I want a plot twist to be not predictable. I literally yelled WTF so loud the entire book.
That's probably going to be me with Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
If I'm being
honestly.
But not for the same reason. Like, you're
Not
gonna
for the same
5-star
reason.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't like just Deanna if you hate it that much.
Okay, so the next one I did was Powerful, and say what you will about Lauren Roberts, but I love this
loved
whole series.
Powerful.
Powerful, I
Powerful
thought
gets
was
hate too.
yes, it does, but
I
I
don't
thought it
know
was
why.
beautiful. I
And it was so
cried.
needed.
Yeah.
Adina deserved her own story.
She did.
But these 1-star reviews had me cackling. Someone said enough with the sticky buns. I just keep imagining a honey bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I
No,
imagine.
it's a cinnamon
Cinnamon roll
roll
kinda
with
thing?
like pecans on top.
oh.
It's a
well,
sticky bun.
She owns a bakery, so she knows.
That
I
makes
mean,
more
that's
sense.
like a sticky bun. I mean, or
I was
like a
thinking more
regular
like what you were
cinnamon roll.
thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, cinnamon roll sounds better. This one said this could have been an email.
No, it couldn't have.
No, it couldn't have.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
And like it made you love the characters so much.
Yes. Oh, is that the only ones I kept from?
Oh, that's such a good book.
I have Reckless next.
You should do
that
Reckless
one.
next then.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one says, I have no words to describe how stupid that ending is and how excruciatingly boring this entire book was. I would have had way more fun watching paint dry for 48 hours straight.
What?
I was like,
I mean,
what?
Powerless was better, but I still
Yeah, well, I mean, I liked Reckless better
I
personally.
thought
Really?
Reckless. I thought they were just as good.
Yeah.
Because I love Kai so much.
Mhm.
And him and Pei just, oh my
I've
God.
got
it.
people
Maybe that's
tore
why I
this
didn't like
book
this one.
up though.
Boo.
People were. Oh, this one. People.
But the other thing that kills me, people are so fast to be like, Lauren Roberts took this from every single person in every single book. And I'm like, okay, but there's apparently one, not a book that has any of this all together.
Right.
And two,
Every book has
isn't
everything
that,
else.
that's what I'm saying. Like every book sounds
There's
like
not
every other book.
much unique.
That's
And I
why,
think
other
that's-
than the Shepherd King series,
I was
like,
just gonna say that's the only book
Yeah.
that I've read
it's
recently.
so
that was
unique.
Because I'm reading Kingdom of Lies series right now that you
Love.
recommended, and
Yes.
like it is just like Throne of Glass, just like
They're
Daughter of
all
No
the
World,
same.
but like a little bit different. I mean, like they put their own spin
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And I think if you, and I did that one, so I'm going to read a couple in a second. But like if you do that, if you go in thinking that you're going to be reading something either
Brand
similar,
new.
brand
Right.
new, like I don't think, especially in the same genre, that's not possible.
But people said about Reckless, this should have been sold with blank pages and a pen because you could write a better book yourself.
What?
No
shot.
This entire book could have been condensed to a single page, and that still would have been too long.
Oh my God.
Reckless, more like useless and plotless. And I was like, oh wow,
That's
they
wild.
are really. But I liked it.
I loved it.
So-
And I'm excited for Fearless.
I am so
I'm
excited for
so
Fearless, and I
excited
bet all
for
the people who one started are still going to buy Fearless.
Oh,
and read it.
absolutely.
So you know what? Go Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Make that back, girl.
make that bag.
I love that series. I did. So Zodiac Academy, I've read the first three. The second one was my favorite of the three so far. So Ruthless Fae. Prefacing the fact that everyone knows that this book is not written well.
Really?
Okay.
I did not know that. Like, what do you mean
Yeah.
not written well?
The first book has typos everywhere.
What?
Like it's not, and it's written. It's just not written well. But the story is fun. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it gets trashed because people are like, it's trash. Like it's not a well written book. But I'm like, you go into it because it's just a fun story. you know?
Right.
So with that being
you
said,
said it was like reality trash.
yeah, but it's like
Okay.
it's one of those books where you're like the plot is super interesting and
Yeah.
fun, so you just want to read it because it's fun,
Right.
You know, it's like the authors took elements of every single fantasy book out there and vomited this world up. I could not deal with the Harry Potter house points mentioned every 10 pages. Every single character is annoying,
Okay.
which the book is basically a fantasy version of like Harry Potter.
Oh.
Oh.
So
Well, now that makes me kind of
you
want
would
to read
love
it.
it. I think you would love
Sign
it.
me up.
Sign me up.
You would absolutely love it. Surely the 5-star reviews are a joke on this book. I'm not a part of.
Oh my God.
0.5 stars rounded up.
Oh my gosh.
The series is an awful experience, but unfortunately I'm hooked. This is like the trash TV of fantasy books. I unfortunately will continue to the next one.
I
But
mean,
still gave it 1 star.
honestly though, I feel that.
You
That's
would
so funny.
absolutely eat this series up.
Like
You
it's
would love
it's a
it.
dumpster fire that you can't like
is,
look
but
away
it
from,
is.
but you're like so interested.
But
in.
literally,
So
you got
Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Like,
Probably.
isn't that like
You
Or
got-
that's
like
our
I feel like it's
generation.
more like Real Housewives stuff. Like you don't want to watch it, but you kind of do.
yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's got everything. It's got dragon shifters, vampire shifters, werewolves.
Oh my god.
Oh,
house
so
points,
everything.
Hogwarts. Like it's literally everything.
Okay.
You would absolutely
in.
love it.
I'm in.
But I can see why people would rate it low. But it's one of those books you go in and you're like, this is not literature.
Right.
But we're
But
gonna
it's
have a fun
fun.
time. We're gonna have a fun time.
I'm here for the vibes.
Yeah.
I'm not here for
For a long time.
Yeah.
You're here for-
I'm here for the
Although
here
it's
for a
a
long time.
23
Here for a good
series
time.
or book series, so
That's
you
a
are in it
lot.
for a long time.
Well, maybe I'll start it whenever. Maybe this summer.
Okay, so one of the last ones I did was A Court Is Cruel and Lovely, which is a part of the Kingdom of Lies series, which I am absolutely obsessed with.
I loved it.
I'm so glad that you loved it, and you need to read it. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I ate the first book up.
This is what bothers me about people reading this book, because this is the one of the most common things I saw as a 1-star review. Putting the word court in the title of your fantasy fae book does not mean you have written the next ACOTAR. Like, yes,
fair.
that's fair. But like, I don't think if she sat down and tried to write the next ACOTAR that she would have done that and then openly put the word
Court.
in
Well,
the title.
first, it wasn't anything like ACOTAR.
No, it's not at all.
It was more like Throne of Glass.
Right, with like the
But it
character
wasn't
setup.
it wasn't anything like ACOTAR though.
No, but like, I'm sorry, the word court can be used
Right.
in a
There's so
variety
many
of ways.
of the books with a court of.
Correct.
I mean, just because she wrote the book does not mean she is claimed to the title a
Yes.
court of. So
I think the problem is they went in thinking they were going to be reading something similar to ACOTAR, and then
And
they
it's
were
not.
not. Yeah, they didn't see
A
that.
lot of books have the word court.
Yes, and I'm just like, don't hate on
A lot
her
of
writing.
fantasy series have the same.
yeah.
They
like,
do, but
title
that's the
type.
vibe.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
a lot of them all talk about Fae, and I'm like, why is no one hating that? Like,
Everybody
the
talks
same.
about Fae.
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think Sarah J. Maas did she invent Fae?
No,
Okay,
I don't
then.
think
so. I don't think anybody has
No.
any
She
room to
apparently
talk.
invented wyverns.
Oh, did
I
she?
did not know.
Okay,
I read
so
that
I noticed
recently.
that when I was
That's
listening
cool.
to Throne of Glass,
Yeah.
they were talking about it. And I was like, what? Venom? Same thing?
Mm.
But I didn't realize that because I never read Sarah J. Maas before.
Yeah.
That it wasn't the first time wyverns were like.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that draws on like mythical stories and Greek mythology
Yep.
and all of that background. Like I think that's where a lot of the origination of fantasy happens, which is that's history. So I mean, you're not stealing the idea.
Okay, my next one was Bride by Allie Hazelwood.
I've heard interesting things.
I normally don't like Allie Hazelwood. I'm just
I
not
don't.
an Allie Hazelwood
What
fan.
else does she write?
Like
I don't-
the
The
love
Hypothesis?
hypothesis, love theoretically,
Oh,
not in love.
I
I
don't
just
love her
don't love her writing style. But I read all of her stuff. I just don't ever enjoy it. I don't know. It's just like one of those things. But Bride was good and bad. You know what I mean? Like it was so good because it fed into my Twilight years.
Yes.
But I mean, I wouldn't say it was like great. But I loved
But you
it.
fast-started.
But I loved it. And because of it gave Twilight, like
I love
adult
that.
Twilight.
I need
Yeah.
to.
You know what I
I
mean?
need that in my life.
This one says, you know how food tastes bland when you forget to add salt to it? This book was the equivalent of that. Oh my God. And then this one says, this is for all you weird people that wanted a Jacob and Renesmee spinoff.
Stop.
Allie Hazelwood needs jail time for the last 10 pages. Was I entertained? Unfortunately. Was it good? No. This book should have never been allowed to see the light of day. And honestly, I agree with that review. Like, was it good? No. Was I entertained? Heck yes, I was entertained.
Okay,
Oh.
so I don't feel like you can give a 1-star review if you were entertained by it.
Right. Like,
Like maybe a 2 or 3.
was it a literary masterpiece? No. But I rate based on vibes. Like,
Right.
Well, and I'm gonna give a 1-star if I absolutely hated it. And if I
Right.
still can't get it out of my mind because I hated it so much. You
like,
know?
if a book entertains me and it's fun,
not getting a 1-star, even
It's
if
not
you
getting
hated it.
no. I mean, would I rate it 5 stars now? No, it's probably like a 3.5, 4-star read. But the vibes were there, and it was great.
Right, and
you
you
had fun
rate it
reading it.
Yeah, I
right
had fun
after you're
reading
done
it.
reading
So
the Renesmee.
I don't get that.
it really was because it was
That's
a vampire
so-
and a werewolf are the main two characters.
Honestly, that was the biggest problem I had with Breaking Dawn. The whole Renesmee and Jacob thing. I was like, what? What am I looking at? Like, there's
Well,
no way you're telling me
They
gonna end
should
up
have just
together.
named the characters Renesmee and Jacob, to be honest. So I'll bring it to you. You can
That is
read it.
So funny. I want to read it though.
I'll bring it.
No interest in that one. I don't like vampire stuff. I just no. Okay, The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden.
Okay.
I felt like I had to throw this in there.
Okay.
Shein, fast fashion. Frida, fast fashion of writing. Okay, this one's kind of long, but this is hilarious. Let me tell y'all why this book pissed me off so bad. Have you ever hated being in characters' minds, reading their thoughts? Ugh. Number 1, the MC is insufferable. She was desperate to be in a relationship, so she ignored glaring red flags, warnings, stop signs, and cautious signs. 2, she didn't trust anything she saw, heard, or felt. Yeah. Those are all quotes. Number 3, the same recycled plot, which I will say all of her plots are pretty much the same. Number 4, there was no such thing as a no. So much I didn't care to read about. Bloody noses, someone eating bugs. Is this a book for middle schoolers? Number 5, this is a Frida book. Of course she's going to hone in and harp on things that have absolutely nothing to do with the plot. I couldn't take hearing about her being able to have a child after mid-30s, flabby arms, and nosebleeds anymore. I could go on, but I guess not really because I only made it about 30% before I tossed it.
You know, that's fair. People who do not finish, I think, are allowed to give those types of reviews.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if it was so bad that
you
you
couldn't
can't
finish
finish it, you know what? You deserve the 1 star.
I've never read a Frida book though, so.
Me
Well,
either.
apparently
I can't
some
say
people
anything.
shouldn't write books. That
Well,
was one of
I
these.
feel like she's so popular that I have to read one of her books eventually. But
But once again, like, I feel like she is popular for the people who love that genre.
right,
I love thrillers, and I like her books because I can read them quickly. They are not masterpieces.
I mean,
At
I
all.
feel like thrillers would give me anxiety though,
Yeah, probably.
True.
so that's why I haven't read them.
When I got to the part in Throne of Glass with the trials and
Uh-huh.
like the people showing up
Yeah.
and how their bodies were, I was like listening to it at 11 o'clock
can't
at
do it.
night, like driving home. I was like, we're gonna go back to the
do it.
radio for a minute and
Yeah.
listen to some Taylor Swift to like make me happier because this is a little scary.
That's why I don't read thrillers, because I choose not to give myself more anxiety than I already have. So,
Understandable.
Yeah, I feel that.
do you have another one?
I have one
No,
more.
I
have
don't.
one
That
more.
was
I'll do
it
one
for
more.
me.
I have one more. It's When in Rome, the first book to the
okay.
first. This one's hilarious.
Oh no.
This one, I mean, like, again, it's a rom-com.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Anyways, Hannah Montana falls into insta-love with the president of her fan club.
Stop. What? Oh my god. Now I'm so curious.
This book reminded me a lot of when Lightning McQueen got stranded in Radiator Springs and slowly fell in love with the town and its people and Sally. Except this wasn't slow at all, and Amelia's not a car.
That's hysterical.
They're so Lorelai Gilmore and Luke Danes coded, which honestly
Oh.
I get that, but that's not a
That's not a
one
bad thing.
star.
That's not
That's
a
a-
one
that's a good
star.
thing.
That's 5-star for me.
And then this reads like a really bad Taylor Swift fan fiction.
Stop.
I loved it.
No.
Okay, so Amelia is a pop star,
Okay.
and she gets stranded at this guy's house who owns a bakery.
Oh.
He is,
Okay, I would like that.
but
That's
I
cute.
love him. He is so.
And he's in all the other books too.
Mhm. He gives cinnamon roll main character energy,
okay.
but like the silent cinnamon roll. You know what I mean? Like that only talks to her.
Yes.
It's great. I ate it up and I loved it.
Like a grumpy sunshine.
Yes,
Grump, that's
I loved it.
Kaylee's favorite trope.
No, One Bed is my favorite trope.
One
Ugh.
bed, that's true.
No, can't do it.
We need to do a podcast on tropes.
I have
too.
a whole. I have a
Oh,
list.
that's a good
That was one of
idea.
them that I
That's a
had.
good idea.
All right, my last one, Assassin's Blade.
Oh my god, please let
And
me
I
know.
actually put this here. For
I might have been
McKenzie.
one of those 1-star people. It's
It
fine.
was my least
I-
favorite in the series, though.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Can we talk about how bad of an assassin Selena is? I'm Selena Sardothian, darn you all. Does he know he's talking to me, the Selena Sardothian? I can eat your flesh in your sleep. I'm Selena Sardothian.
Oh my god.
See, okay. I thought she was like, I was like, wow, this
love
girl
her.
is hardcore. But at the same time, I was like, isn't she like 15?
Yeah.
Which I thought was the only thing was that that's not really realistic. Like,
Right.
She's older later. She's like 15 in this.
she's so
Right?
in Throne of Glass
She's like
now.
19.
She's
She's older now.
19, 20 in
probably.
Throne of Glass. Okay. But because
Yeah.
Arabin took her at 12.
Yeah.
If this was the most powerful assassin in all continents, God help the worst.
Oh my god.
Listen, I would have hired her.
I would have
Same.
too.
Mass wrote this in her notes app and then published it to Wattpad before it went big. This read like a mildly violent Magic Treehouse series.
Stop.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Okay, I will
love
say, I was an Assassin's Blade hater.
Until
And I
you
just
read.
started Throne of Glass this past weekend.
That's so much better.
And I am obsessed. For everyone who is debating the order,
Don't read it
Throne of
first.
Glass
Yes.
first. I was immediately hooked. Well, actually, not immediately. I lied. Like 20% into Throne of Glass, I was like, love this. Once we got past the like, here's this
Plot
place.
building.
Yes.
I read Assassin's Blade after Crown of Midnight.
Which is the second one or the third?
I read it fourth. I read Assassin's
Okay.
Blade fourth.
No, that'll be Air of Fire.
Okay. I read it after that
I
one.
read it
then.
third or fourth. I can't remember.
I see why, because like the 5 individual stories, like she's already mentioned the Red Desert, but
We don't
I
know who
will
Sam
say,
is.
right. But I was just telling my friend, I was like, I really think that the Sam situation would have hit me harder
If you knew who he was.
if I
Right.
had known
her background.
her, like, because her love
Yeah.
for him is more obvious in Throne of Glass than it was in Assassin's Blade.
Well, her love is also why she does what she does.
Right.
Right. And,
And
so
you don't get that.
I could see this like being comparable to like how we had the Powerful novella because like
It adds to the story.
yes.
Yep.
And so I would have been completely I would have loved Assassin's Blade.
Yep.
Assassin's Blade in the order that I should have read it. In.
Yeah.
Read Assassin's Blade 3rd or 4th.
It's nice, like
Hands
knowing
down.
what she's referring to. Like that's nice, but not.
I feel
a
like
necessity.
It's not
essentially a spoiler though. Like
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
whole book of spoilers
Yes.
because
There's a lot with Arabin too that you don't
Yeah.
know in the
In
first
Throne of
book or
Glass?
2.
Okay.
In Assassin's Blade.
Oh, in Assassin's
like
Blade.
you,
Okay.
you learn a lot in Assassin's Blade that you're like, that makes sense with Arabin
Mm-hmm.
that you shouldn't know
Right.
going into like
Yeah.
the first 2 books.
Okay. Well, I wish I could reread it for the first time, like in the right order, because I would have loved it.
Yeah. You should go back and reread it at the right time. Honestly,
I might, because it took me a long time to get through it because I hated it so
I
much.
read
Honestly,
it so quick.
I feel
loved
like
it.
it's one of those books you can probably spark note and get what you
Oh,
need.
true.
You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
I liked that it was broken into parts because I was able to be like, I can read one of the books tonight and just be done. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I liked how it was broken up like that.
Yeah.
But I love it now. So
Nice. So you should check out the books that we suggested.
Yeah.
they're
because
all
we
great
gave them
books.
I mean,
5
I liked them
stars,
all.
we love them.
clearly, but yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
Are we going to talk about what's going on tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, what we're going to tomorrow night. We're going to
Well, after this premieres, it'll be last night.
Oh, true.
True. Well, we will have just been
At the
waking
midnight
up,
release.
chugging coffee because we're exhausted moms, going to a midnight release party for Onyx Storm.
So excited.
Yay.
I'm so
So
excited.
excited. So be on the lookout next week for our Onyx Storm episode.
Yeah, and when this
Yeah.
comes out,
We'll
if you're
have-
listening to this, head over to our socials because we'll probably post a video of
The
our
midnight release.
No spoilers, just like how the
Fun
vibes
time.
were.
Right,
Yeah.
fun
Well, there's no
times.
spoiler. We won't have read the book.
Mm-mm.
There's no spoilers.
I will be reading the first page before I leave the books
Yeah.
in the parking lot. So I might just be hanging out
Yeah.
there until I got to go to school. It's fine.
You can come back to my house. We'll read. Brandon can take the
Ugh.
kids somewhere else.
You don't have school Monday either. Oh shoot! This is
So it's
Never
Monday,
mind.
yeah, at midnight.
Tuesday.
But on our socials, like their Books a Million is doing a whole party thing with scavenger hunts, and there's supposed to be a lot of cool things going on.
Coloring
so we're
books,
excited.
a wing leader latte.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yum.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy it too. So yeah, check us out on all of our socials and subscribe to this podcast.
Yes.
That's how you can help us a little bit.
And then at our book club on Fable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're finishing Variation. So check us out in 2 weeks and we'll talk about Variation.
Yep.
And you'll learn what the next book is. So, yeah.
All right.
Bye.